Hello there, welcome to SibaLearningZone.com. Today we're talking about hierarchical organization of multicellular organisms. Hierarchical organization of multicellular organisms. This is our last topic in the structure of living organisms, cells, and organization. So please let's take note, and please don't forget the previous ones we've already studied. Now, last time we learned that unicellular organisms are also called single-celled organisms. These are organisms whose bodies are made up of only one cell. They lack complex structures but have structural adaptations to perform their life processes. That is where we talked about the contractile vacuole being used for excretion, food vacuole for digestion, pseudopodia or pseudopodium, cilia or flagellum for movement, and they reproduce by binary fission. Euglena has a light-sensitive spot, making it sensitive to light. So this means that unicellular organisms are also sensitive, and then they respire by simple diffusion. I hope we remember all these points. Now let's move on to what we have for today. These are two multicellular organisms. We have a human here, we have a tree here. These two organisms are made up of millions, if not billions, of cells. So multicellular organism is an organism whose body is made up of more than one cell. Now these cells come together and then they form these complex structures we see here. So as we move on, we're going to see how these cells contribute to form our bodies. Now, this is the hierarchy. We start from the cell, which is the smallest. They will come together to form a tissue. The tissue will come together to form an organ. Organs form organ systems, and lastly, to the whole organism. So cell is the smallest, come together to form a tissue, to form an organ. We get a system, and then we get an organism. Now, we learned that a cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. This is a palisade cell. Just like every plant cell we've been drawing, this is a palisade cell. It is found in the leaves of plants. It's where most of the chloroplast is found. Most of the chloroplast containing chlorophyll. It is where they are found. These are smooth muscle cells. So this is just one smooth muscle cell. This thing here is one smooth muscle cell, and we can clearly see the nucleus. Now, since this was not viewed with a very powerful microscope, we cannot see the other organelles, but we can see the cell membrane, we see the nucleus, and then we have the cytoplasm in there. The other organelles like the mitochondria are not shown. Okay, so this is a smooth muscle cell, and this is a palisade cell. Now, a group of similar cells is called a tissue. So these smooth muscle cells we see here come together to form the smooth muscle tissue here. We can see one nucleus here that is from one cell. Another nucleus here from another cell, another nucleus, another nucleus. So this thing here, this tissue here is made up of smooth muscle cells. You can see the nuclei everywhere. Okay, now a palisade tissue is also formed right here. The palisade cells have come together to form a palisade tissue in the leaf. So cells, a group of similar cells, will come together to form a tissue. A group of different tissues form an organ. Now with the palisade tissue, there are other tissues. We have the xylem and phloem vessels. We have the spongy mesophyll cells. They all come together to contribute to the formation of this leaf here. Also, the smooth muscle cells form the walls of the stomach. There are other tissues here that are contributing to the formation of this organ. So a group of different tissues will form an organ. And then a group of organs together form an organ system. Here we have the liver, we have the stomach, small intestines, large intestines, rectum. Sorry. All these are coming together to form the digestive system. So we eat, it comes here, and these things are working together. These organs are working together to give us our digestive system. Something the unicellular organism does not have because it is made up of only a cell. So a unicellular organism has no digestive system, but instead they use the food vacuole for this role. And then an organism is formed from a group of organs working together, or a group of organ systems working together. So here we have the leaves, which is an organ, the roots organ. The root system is an organ system. Okay, the leaf system is a system, and then we have the branches all coming together to form the tree. In humans, we can talk about the respiratory system, the reproductive system, the digestive system, just to mention a few. And these are what are coming together to form a human being. So we start from the cell, which is the smallest thing. It comes to the tissue, then it goes to an organ, it goes to a system, and lastly to the whole organism. So multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. Sorry. The cell is the basic structure and functional unit of an organism. A group of similar cells form a tissue. A group of different tissues forms an organ. A group of organs working together forms an organ system or an organism. This brings us to the end of our lesson. It also brings us to the end of our first topic, which is structure of living organisms, cells, and organization. Please be prepared for the next topic. Study hard, and that will be it for today. Bye.